Alright, so let's talk about the Bob Long MVP pump. Now you guys know, I've never pretended to be, a pump snob or a die-hard pump player. I don't know, it's just, I used pumps many years ago and that's all there was, and when they came out with semi-auto guns, I just stuck with that. So, I know that, for a lot of pump players, they talk about this feeling of elaciousness that just flows through their body every time they use a pump gun, that their private parts tingle and it's just pure bliss for them to use a pump gun. Unfortunately, I've never got that feeling using a pump gun. Honestly, I don't see anything spiritual or magical about them. I don't have any more respect or any less respect for somebody who uses a pump gun on the field. It's just another person for me, to just another opponent. Don't care what you use to shoot back at me. So I know it seems like there's a subculture about pump guns and stuff like that. Inside of paintball, I don't get it. I don't care. They're just another target when I'm out there on the field. With that being said, Bob Long MVP pump. Among pump snobs, you've got to understand that if it's not mid-1980s technology, it's crap. It's junk. Okay, you've got to really understand that. The autococker, early 90s, late 80s, whenever that whole, butt or sniper came out. For most pump players, that was the end of progression in terms of pump. Anything past that is junk, rubbish. They don't want to hear it. La 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 la. Okay, auto trigger. You name it. Half blocking, striker slotting, hammer slotting. Okay, all that stuff. Half blocking. All that stuff for most pump snobs, it's just incomprehensible. They don't even want to talk about it. It's all crap. Okay, so the MVP pump was not designed for a pump snob. They've got their gun. They'll be buried with it. They'll never buy another one. They don't want to hear about any sort of improvements in paintball guns or someone else trying to, trying to come out with something new or different or anything like that. The MVP pump, definitely not designed for the pump snob. With that being said, the gun in your hands is going to feel a lot like a standard, electromagnetic gun. Just like it feels going to feel like a G6R. It's going to feel like a Geo. It's going to feel like any other gun you got. It uses the same grips, as the G6R, which is a good thing. Bob made this gun primarily for the new generation of players. Didn't make this gun for the pump snobs, So I wanted to preface that. In the hands, it feels great. Yeah, it's got a little bit of a hammer bounce, a little bit of a farting noise when you're out there shooting. I've never really found that to be any sort of distraction from how the gun feels or how the gun shoots when it's out there and stuff like that. What I like to do really quickly is let's go ahead and just take apart some of the basic parts on the gun, which is at least just getting the bolt out and removing the the cocking rod here and the pump stroke or the pump handle and all of its bearings and stuff like that. We'll remove all that really quick. Won't get much into the grip frame because that's all. I mean, you don't really want to get much into. You got your regulator in there and all sorts of pins and all sorts of stuff like that. Things you're not really supposed to service. So let's go ahead and get the gun. The camera a little closer and let's take it apart. All right, so let's go ahead and weigh it really quick. Okay, comes in at 2 pounds 4 ounces. 2 pounds 4 ounces. Definitely a pretty meaty gun. The inside the packaging, Bob Long's packaging has always been extremely basic, going all the way back to going back to 2002 Intimidators and stuff like that, even all the way back to his classic. You got 2 pump springs in here, a couple extra parts, a couple extra O-rings if you need it. It's got some extra springs there, but very, very basic packaging. Now the barrel that comes with the gun is a 685 barrel, so it should do okay for most of your requirements. If you're looking for something, probably for this pump gun, not looking to maybe spend a lot of money, or maybe you don't want to change it up. Maybe look at the if you're getting into really small paint, you can also take a look at the Tech T barrel. The barrel sizers, you can just screw that on there. It's going to add about 1.5 inches. I think it's 1.75 inches to your barrel, and you can get a smaller insert if you need it for a smaller paint. Let's go ahead and take off the Take off the grip handle here. Slide that off and away. Now, inside of here, there's not really any sort of user serviceable parts. You've got your sear, you've got your regulator. Honestly, you know, if you want to get in there and mess with it, you can. I'm not going to, but you know, you definitely do that if you want to. But here we go. Let's go ahead and pull away the. Let's go ahead and pull away the pump handle. Okay, then you can see the springs. Now you can feel these dual springs that they have on here, and Bob said it in his video. These are about as soft as a standard pin spring, and they are. They're very, very soft springs. It does not take any effort to pump this gun as you're running down the field. You know, you can see that it's, you know, the really nice tight tolerances on the back here. So when this is sliding in and out, you know, you don't feel any sort of binding or anything like that. Now you take a look at this and you're gonna see bearings all over the place on this gun. You've got bearings here, 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 on the sides, on the bottom, and the goal of that was to have as frictionless of a pump stroke as you can possibly get. And the pump stroke on this gun feels phenomenal. It's very light, very direct. There's no binding, no twisting, no torque, no tweaking, none whatsoever. I mean, it's a smooth in and out when you go and you pump stroke it. Okay, now that we've got this apart, let's go ahead and drop the back part out. You basically, all you've got to do to take this apart is you don't have to unscrew the back cap. Back cap actually only works on the hammer, but all you got to do is just kind of take your finger and just push it here. Yeah, out that comes. Let's go ahead and get the bolt out. Now, the one thing I like too, the bolt is made out of brass. You ever seen paintball guns that have got brass in them? It's really nice. Over time, the brass just gets shinier and shinier and shinier. It gets smoother and smoother and smoother. The more you use it, the slicker it gets. And I mean, even as it feels right now, I mean, this is an extremely smooth piece. So as it, you know, the more you use this gun, definitely the smoother that bolt is going to get. That's why a lot of people still like brass parts inside of their guns and polymers and stuff like that. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is let's go ahead and take apart. This is pretty much, if you ever chopped the ball or you know, broke a ball inside the barrel, this is about as far as you would really have to go. You don't really have to even get in here. Simply removing the bolt or popping that out the back, and then just running a swab through the breech and cleaning off your barrel, cleaning off your bolt and cleaning off this little tube here. That's about as far as you need to go. But let's go ahead and take apart this area here. This is pretty much what you would call the poppet. And we'll drop this out, and this has got a spring on it. Okay. Now this is basically your poppet face right here. And now we'll take apart the there we go. You can see there's some more brass in there as well. And that's pretty much it. So we've got the spring here. Now, if you wanted to change the spring out, whether you wanted to go something softer, or you wanted to go something harder, this is where you would change. This is where you would change the spring out. But let's go ahead and put these pieces into some sort of order here, so you can kind of see how they go together. About like that. So we'll go ahead and start putting this back together. You can feel also on this, you know, how nice that feels sliding back and forth. That brass on the stainless steel parts, this really makes for a nice slick movement. Okay, put this right there. Like I said, if you chop paint in the gun, you know, pump stroke, or you get a ball that breaks in the gun, you don't have to take these halves apart to get inside here into the valve and into it. You just basically just have to drop that out and you're good to go. So you would just take this off, wipe it down, wipe off your bolt, put it back together again, and you're good to go. Flip the gun upside down, slide it forward. Now what I'm doing here is you need to kind of line, you got to give yourself a little bit of room. You got to slide the bolt just a little bit forward before you put on the pump handle. There we go. That's it. And then you can see, if you hold this in your hands, you can feel that pump stroke and how smooth that pump stroke is. That is pretty much it in terms of, you know, your user serviceable parts. And if you're real adventurous, you know, get into the other parts. You know, I mean, it's your gun. I mean, if you screw it up, you know, make sure you keep all the parts, send it in to Bob Long, and they'll take good care of you. I've always found Bob Long to have great customer service. Terry Fong may look at you funny when you show him what you did to your gun, but he'll still help you fix it. So that's it. So got it all taken care of, and you know, got a really smooth smooth trigger pull, extremely short, crisp trigger pull. Yeah, that's a nice feeling gun. Okay, so let's go ahead and put the camera back, and we'll finish this up with the conclusion. Okay, so let's go ahead and wrap up this conclusion. You know, what I think of it, I like the gun. It's, you know, like I said, this gun is not for pump snobs, okay? It's definitely not for pump snobs. This gun is, you know, if you've got, let's say you've been in paintball for the last year or two, and you know, you're looking into possibly getting a pump, or maybe you've got a cheaper pump already and you want to get something a little bit more sophisticated, you know, give this a shot. There's a lot of pump guns that are out there that are great pump guns. CCM makes a great pump gun. The new Empire Sniper is a phenomenal pump gun as well. This one is out there in terms of technology. A lot of technology found in this gun that you're not going to find in other guns. On the field, it points well, it shoots well. The pump stroke is just a great feeling pump stroke. The trigger feels good. Yeah, it's got a, you know, the sound signature on it. It's got a hammer bounce. It's got a farting noise when you shoot. It's like bzz, bzz, so you're gonna feel that when you shoot it. Some people that's gonna bother a lot. Some people it won't. Doesn't really bother me that much. But you know, I think overall, you know, what you pay for, what you get in the box, the technology is definitely there. I love the clamping feed neck of it. I love just the fact that the regulator's in the grip frame. It just makes it for an extremely easy gun to point, extremely easy gun to shoot when you're out there on the field. So, you know, packaging's really basic, but you know, I really think if you can get over the sound signature of the gun and judge it based on how it feels out there on the field, how easy it is to the pump stroke, how good the trigger feels, the clamping feed neck, the technology, the brass bolt, all the parts inside the gun, how well they all work together, consistency over the chronograph, I think you're going to see this gun definitely is a phenomenal pump gun. Is pretty much the most state-of-the-art pump gun that's out there on the market right now in regards to, you know, coming up with a completely original, completely new design, and all the thought that went into it, man. It's definitely cream of the crop right here. I love it. It's, you know, but then again, I'm not a pump snob. So, you know, you hand this over to a pump snob, they're going to, you know, pinch their nose at it and say it stinks because it's not, you know, mid-1980s technology. So hopefully this helps. Thanks for tuning in.